All right, today we're cracking open one of the most controversial and, let's be honest, infamous books on strategy ever written, Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. So let's dive into this playbook for the ambitious. So, what are these hidden rules of power anyway? Now, you've got to get this right from the start. This book is not a moral compass. It's not telling you how the world should work, not at all. It's a cold, hard look at how power has actually been won, used, and lost throughout all of human history. Think of it less like a self-help book and more like a field guide to the jungle. So where do we even begin? Well, the first and most fundamental theme is all about mastering your image. The idea is, before you can even think about influencing anybody else, you have to get control of yourself. And even more importantly, you have to control how other people see you. It all starts and ends with perception. And that brings us straight to law number 1. This one is probably the most famous of them all, and for a very good reason. Now, this feels totally backwards, right? I mean, we're all taught to show off our talents to get ahead, but Greene says, no, that's a huge mistake. The real path to power is making your superiors feel brilliant and secure. You use your skills to make them look good, and in doing so, they'll bring you up with them. But the moment you threaten their ego, the moment you make them feel insecure, bam, you've just painted a target on your own back. So, from not making your boss feel insecure, the book shifts to another absolute cornerstone of managing your image, and that's law number 5. Think about it. Your reputation is like a ghost that walks into the room before you do. It can do half your work for you, intimidating your rivals and making people want to work with you. Greene says you have to build it meticulously, guard it fiercely, and always be ready for attacks on it. And the flip side of that? Well, it's also a weapon. You can strategically ruin an opponent by poking holes in their reputation. You see, mastering your image isn't just one thing. It's a whole toolkit of different principles. It's about making your biggest achievements look totally effortless. You know, like a swan gliding on the water but paddling like crazy underneath. It's about keeping your mouth shut because the less you say, the more powerful you seem. It's about attracting attention so you're never ignored. And it's about constantly defining who you are before anyone else gets the chance to do it for you. Okay, so you've started to build this carefully crafted image. What now? How do you actually use it in the real world? Well, welcome to what the book calls the social chessboard. Every single interaction, every relationship becomes a strategic move in a much bigger game. And this brings us to a pretty unsettling idea about friends and enemies. Greene's advice is stark. Don't put too much trust in your friends when it comes to power. Why? Because they are the most likely to be overcome by envy and will betray you without a second thought. A former enemy, on the other hand, they have more to prove. If you win them over, they can become an incredibly loyal and reliable ally. It's a completely pragmatic, not emotional way of looking at people. And this theme continues when we look at Law 9. You can win an argument, sure, but what do you really get? You get a temporary victory and someone who now secretly resents you. True power comes from getting people on your side through your actions. You have to show them, not just tell them. Your results are way more convincing than any argument you could ever make. Okay, this next concept is, it's called the thumbscrew for a reason. It's a key part of the book's social strategy. The idea is that everybody, and I mean everybody, has a secret weakness, an insecurity, a desperate need, a little crack in their armor. Your job is to find it. Because once you know what truly drives someone, what they fear, what they crave, you have a lever. You have a way to control them. So once you understand the players on the board and their weak spots, the game can get a lot more intense. This brings us to our final section. And this is where the laws get the most direct and, for a lot of people, the most ruthless. We're talking about the art of strategic warfare. This is about what to do in moments of direct conflict. In this worldview, deception isn't just lying. Oh no, it's a sophisticated art form. First, you hide what you're really after. You keep people confused. Then you throw them off the scent with one small, sincere act of honesty that lowers their guard. And finally, you give them a choice. But here's the kicker. Every single option leads to an outcome that benefits you. They feel like they're in control, but they're just playing the game you designed. And if you thought that was cynical, just listen to this one. This might be the most brutal law in the whole book. Crush your enemy totally. The logic here is cold as ice. Mercy is a strategic mistake. Why? Because an enemy you only injure will recover, they will resent you, and they will spend all their time plotting revenge. To be truly safe, you have to remove them from the game completely. But it's not all just aggression and brute force. What's so fascinating is how that ruthlessness has to be paired with incredible patience. Mastering power is also about mastering time itself. You have to seem calm, unhurried, like you have all the time in the world. You observe, you wait for the trends to shift in your favor, and then, when that perfect moment finally arrives, you don't hesitate for a second. You strike with decisive, overwhelming force. So, after going through all these different layers of power, image, social strategy, and warfare, what's the big takeaway from this playbook? At its core, the philosophy of the 48 Laws of Power is completely amoral. It doesn't ask if something is right or wrong. It only asks one question. Does it work? Does it get you more power? It describes our world as a relentless competitive game where strategy is the only thing that actually matters. And that really leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this book a Machiavellian guide that you're supposed to follow? Or is it a defensive shield, a tool to help you understand and protect yourself from the power plays you see every day? The truth is, these laws are operating out there in the world whether we like it or not. The real question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge?